want to do it here?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Rock on. You get my shoes? I'm not even wearing socks. I don't give a fuck. Hi, I'm Richard Haskins. This is how you smash beers. The first rule is you gotta relax your throat muscles like those girls in Beijing.
Alright, Haskins, it's nice to meet you. Tell the people that don't know you a little bit about yourself.
My name is Richard Haskins. I got sentenced to 2 years for bank robbery. I play in a punk rock band. I haven't paid taxes in a couple years. Everything I own can fit in like a paper bag, and that's the only way to live.
You know, my ears are to the streets now, and I heard you just got out of jail. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. I got out of jail on March 22nd. I got arrested walking on stage with my band at 35 Denton. Got thrown into fucking Denton County Jail, waited there for a few months. They were trying to throw me 10 years, then they threw me 6, and then my lawyer fucking got me the minimum because it was a 2 to 20, so I got 2. So I did a year and 11 days before I hit parole. I'm on parole now. I mean, prison sucked. It was like hot, no AC, terrible, treated like an animal. It's about like being married, sort of, I guess. Food still sucked. I don't know. Well, I mean, I've been in worse places.
And I heard there's a lot of people that around here that don't necessarily like you. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, actually, I kind of feed off that. I love it when people hate me. If they hate you, if they love you, they're still talking about you. So, you know, it doesn't fucking, no skin off my fucking back, you know.
All right, and what made you think of the name The Wee Beasties?
Well, there was a band that I really didn't like, and I overheard in a conversation one day their bassist talking about how they wanted to have a band called the Wee Beasties, so I decided to start that band so that they couldn't have that name. So I did it out of spite, and it's a kind of an interesting name too, because if you know anything about history, Leeuwenhoek, the scientist, he looked through the first microscope and saw the first bacteria, and he didn't know what they were, didn't know what to call them, and he called them Wee Beasties. And I like the band The Germs, so it was kind of an homage to the Germs and also an homage to some people that I didn't like.
So how do you feel about the music scene in Denton?
It's a little weird, especially like having been gone for a little over a year. It's gotten different now. Like it's weird because it's opened up in a lot of ways. Like the doors open. I remember a lot of the hip hop that was in Southeast Denton. There used to be really no place for those dudes to play. I mean, there was John John's, I think, but I don't even know if they had shows. I was kind of too young to go over there. But now it's opened up. But it's also kind of, there's that saying, people come to Denton to make music, not money. So it's a little tough because I make more fucking money in one night. I make more fucking money in one night in Dallas than I'll make playing, a whole month in Denton. So it's tough. Like, you're not gonna make any money here. There's just too much shit going on. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
And what do you specifically like about the music scene in Denton?
One thing that I love about Denton music that that I've always tried to strive for, at least in my own music, is that it's really open to experimentation. It's kind of a different flavor. You can look at it. You can look at a band from Denton and know that they're not from Dallas. Know that they're not from. I mean, it's a little similar to Austin. This is maybe like how I hear a lot of people talk about how this is how Austin was like in like the mid '80s, where like it was kind of about to break, but it really hadn't broken yet. And so there's just like a lot of cool stuff going on. The house shows and shit. The only thing that the only real drawback is the clubs like don't the clubs don't really care about what's good. They just care about what sells alcohol, and you know, a lot of times I just feel like an alcohol salesman.
And what don't you like about the music scene in Denton?
Man, there's a few things. It seems like, well, I mean, I think that Denton's kind of like a herd of cats, you know what I mean? Like everybody's just kind of doing their own thing, which is cool, but when that happens, you also run into like a lot of competition and a lot of like competing shows, and like there's not a whole lot of unity. But I think that goes that way like in a lot of music scenes, because well, I don't like Sparky, you know, and I don't really like what he did with Octopia. I thought Octopia was a lot cooler when it was like didn't have him like involved in it, and I guess he's not involved anymore, so that's cool. But now he's not involved, and now they're kind of like too big for their britches, so they're moving to Dallas, but which is shitty because we don't have 35 Denton anymore, and we don't have Octopia here. So we got Arts and Jazz Festival again, so it's always like everything. It's cyclical. It's a little bit like a bubble. So you kind of like it bubbles up and then it pops and then only to bubble up again. So we're kind of like in a down bubble time right now. So it's a little strange.
And what do you think should happen so it can improve?
I would like to see more house venues open up, and I would like to see, man, I don't know, I just like getting drunk and going to shows, so I'd like to see maybe, man, I don't even know what it can improve on, but it just seems like when I was younger, like it was okay. Here's one issue. Because it's opened up, it's really cool because you have like a lot of different stuff happening like all at once. But the drawback to that is that you have a lot of shows with a lot of like the same weird kinds of things, and you don't really have like, who are the fucking big bands here? Like, shit. I mean, you know, we used to have bands here that like, you know, you could name like the big 3 bands in town, and like you can't do that anymore because there's just fucking too many of them.
All right, and so do you have any projects or singles you want to talk about?
I'm making a posthumous record.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
I'm making a record that's probably not going to be done until I'm dead.
All right, and so tell us something that most people wouldn't know about you.
I'm a really big Cher fan, especially like the mid-70s Cher. Half Breed's one of my favorite records ever. I hate onions on food. I won't eat them at all unless it's like in something that's like cooked deeply. Cooked deeply in it. The kid's got a mullet. That's awesome. You don't see that every day. And it wasn't like one of those weird like redneck mullets. It was like a 13th century Scotsman mullet. Like, it was awesome. What was the question?
Where do you tell us something that most people wouldn't know about you?
Oh, you probably shouldn't believe everything that you read in the papers, because I'm not the fucking boogeyman like that, like everybody says I am. I give really good hugs, and I'm a sweet guy.
All right, and so where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Celebrating the 5th year anniversary of this question.
All right, so who is your favorite band and who is your least favorite band?
Denton?
No.
No, you should do just Denton.
Okay.
Because that way it's like super close to home.
All right. Then who is your favorite band in Denton and who is your least favorite band?
My favorite band in Denton currently? Ooh. Hold on, I've been like super blackout drunk for like the last few weeks, but I saw a band called... Fuck! I'm so bummed I can't remember the name. I saw them at Backyard on Bell. Okay, but since that's like in a drunken haze, I'll give you like my favorite Denton band is the Riverboat Gamblers, and even though they live in Austin now, they're still a Denton band.
All right, and your least favorite band?
I fucking hate. Cannot stand her. She is the musical equivalent of diabetic food. She is like no flavor. She's generic. She's a celebration in mediocrity. She's the fucking Amy Schumer of Denton. Watching her play music is like watching a retard fuck. Listen, the electronic dance music scene here in Denton is just, it's drier than pussy around people who can't help her in the business. He doesn't like me because I told him he looks like George Clooney with Down syndrome. Let's see, who else doesn't like me here in town? He doesn't like me because I talk so much shit about him. John Williams fucking hates me, and for 2 reasons. Number one, a couple years ago he caught me snorting in this fucking bar, and then I got banned for 3 months, and then this is before I was on parole, just so you know, for the record. And then I got super pissed off that he banned me, so I started walking around and telling people that I was John Williams, and that, hey, you should go into my bar, Eastside, and get a free shot on my tab. And like dozens of people like went into Eastside to get, they're like, yeah, John Williams told me you could get a shot. They're like, who? Like, you know the owner here, John Williams, fat guy with a backwards hat and a beard. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. So they started racking up all these fucking bar tabs. That dude hates me. There's like a number of dudes who don't like me because I bang their old ladies here in town. I'm not exactly sure if I should name names on that. I don't seek that out, but you know, sorry, it happens.
Rock star or something, huh?
Kind of. Every single person on city council doesn't like me because I released fake nudes of them. Dalton Gregory, Kevin Roden hates me. City Councilman Kevin Roden hates me. I had a fucking show called Rock Against Roden because he's the fucking reason why we can't smoke in bars anymore, and I made a whole big old goddamn personal attacks and like deal about that. I even made a poster where he looks like Hitler and shit, which it was really funny because he does look a lot like Hitler. Like you could put like a tiny little mustache on him. He's a mustache away from being a young extremist dictator in the 1930s and 40s. Elizabeth McDonald at that tattoo shop doesn't like me because I talked about her boobs too much. You should be happy that you have nice boobs. Like that's how I feel. Like it's always like, hey, you have a sweet beard, and I was like, how dare you? And like fucking ran away. Like that'd be fucking ridiculous, wouldn't it? Maybe the beard's not a sexual object, but it could be, and it should be, and that's what's important. I don't think that anybody in Midlake likes me because I made a fake article that said that that Beth Marie's was going to come out with a new Midlake flavored ice cream, and it was flavorless, and it also had a powerful narcotic that put everybody to sleep, and which is exactly what their band does. That no flavor, and it puts you to sleep the second you fucking ingest it. Here's a little story you can just throw in there at some point. Is the train a big deal? Ah, fuck it. I won't tell this story. Maybe that's a sign.
Well, Haskins, it was nice to meet you, and thanks for letting us interview you.
Do you guys want to film me pissing? They can't say that you can't defend yourself in court. Why the fuck can they say that you can't have a gun? Because that's one of the fucking same rights. In a fucking state that was founded by criminals. Yep. Dude, Isaac Haskins, that's close to my last name. Sometimes people ask if we're related, but that's bullshit. Oh, dude, holy shit! Is that Scott Campbell? Holy fuck. Hey,
what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good to see you.
I was just doing an interview.
I just was making sure you didn't go in the back door.
Well, that's
a problem
usually what the ladies tell
door.
me. Don't go in the back door.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's not a good
sometimes
thing.
I don't follow those rules.
Well, that one time didn't work out.
That's Jimmy.
Let's see, go recently.
Jimmy's another guy who doesn't like me here in town. He pretends like he does because he's supposed to, but he doesn't.